Is the Ring 1080p doorbell any good today? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. Today we want to find out if the Ring 1080p video doorbell is really any good and worth your purchase. There are better Ring doorbells out there already. We know this and you probably know this, and that's why you're looking at this video at this time. You see, this is not the newest Ring doorbell available. There are much newer options, but they're much more expensive. So that begs the question, with one of these available on Amazon for under $100, is this the doorbell that you're looking for a cheap, inexpensive option to add a little bit of security to your house? Or is it worth it to upgrade to something a little bit more expensive but offers more features? We're gonna do that deep dive today. Now, before we get too far into this video, I do want to point out I am a longtime Wyze camera user. I've used Wyze security cameras all around my house, also all around our lake property, and I'm comfortable with using them every day as part of my regular daily security needs. I have also added Wyze doorbell cameras to my house, where I have two, one in the front and one in the back, and this will actually be my first time using a Ring doorbell ever. So this is someone coming from a different system, looking at the build quality, the price, and ultimately the features that we want to review in this video today. We should probably start out with an unboxing to see what's inside here, and then we'll review what some of these specs are. First off, exploring the packaging. I'm not super excited about the packaging. It's full color on the front. It's got a lot of information on the back here. Everyday peace of mind. And then there's some French, tranquille d'esprit. So let's open it up. So first off, it looks like it's got this little tear sticker. Now, I'm gonna start with the less interesting part. We'll save the camera part for last. So first of all, I gotta say, a very, very nice presentation. It does come with a Ring screwdriver. It says Ring on it. And this is actually a Torx security bit style screw. And that will be for attaching it to the mounting plate outside so that nobody makes off with your camera. Well, there's also a sticker that says, heads up, I've got a video doorbell camera, so you can stick that out and everyone will run away scared. And then we've got some instructions which briefly show how to charge it and how to install it. I'm not going to use the instructions because, quite frankly, I don't use the instructions. This is a USB charging cord. Now, we're going to cover why this part's important as we get into the features of the camera. So we don't need to talk too much about this right now, but just know that there is a USB cord. And that is it for this. The packaging is all recycled packaging, which is very nice to see. Then moving over to the camera, just slide this out. There's not much there. This is actually, as far as unboxing goes, this is pretty impressive so far. Now, looking at the camera itself, it comes with a number of plastic protectors for all the shiny parts. You can keep the glossy look as long as possible. Once you take these off, it will scratch very easily. It does have a mounting plate. Now, this plate's gonna mount on your house, your fence, or whatever, and then the camera itself comes off. Looking at the camera itself, I gotta say there's some good weight to it. It feels solid in the hands. It doesn't twist very easy. We got the satin finish, so it's a little bit more rich of a finish. You can go for the classic look as well, but I wanted this because it would be a little bit more discreet and look nicer, in my opinion, in my house. There's just one button in the front, which would be for ringing your doorbell, obviously. Moving around to the bottom, there's two screw holes here, and that will be to hold it onto the base plate. And that's where these security Torx style screws are gonna come in. So it screws into there so that nobody can steal your doorbell. Looking onto the back, there is actually two wiring spots. It does have wireless or wired connectivity. So if you want to wire it up to your existing doorbell location, you can simply remove your doorbell and then put this in its place, and it will power up the doorbell, assuming that your doorbell system is functioning properly. There is a USB charger port on there, which we will talk about very shortly here when we talk about the features, but that's where this USB cord would come in, is that we can just plug this in like this, and it'll do something. I'm gonna tell you what it'll do very, very shortly. It looks like a button here, and when I push it, it feels like a button. But we're gonna figure out how to actually turn this thing on, and we'll see what kind of video feedback we get for it. That is more or less Everything that is inside the box is everything that you see here. Not a lot there, and most people would look at this and already know exactly how to install this thing. So there's not a lot to do for the install. I'm not gonna actually cover an install today. I do wanna boot this thing up and get it playing through my phone. We'll get a live feedback from it and see how it responds. But first, we have to talk about the features. To start out with, this is the second version Ring doorbell. The first version was a 720p camera. This one has been upgraded with a 1080p. I know you guys are saying there are newer ones out that have higher resolution cameras on them. Is it worth the upgrade? For cameras alone, I would say no, except that if you are in a situation where your doorbell sees further out onto the road and you want to be able to like read license plates of cars as they drive by, the 1080p model will not do what you're looking for. This will be clear enough that you can get an idea of who's at your front door, but as they get further away from your front door, the detail quality will drop significantly and you wouldn't be able to read text on somebody's shirt or anything like that. But for a generic, just seeing who's at the door, 1080p is absolutely enough of what you're looking for that. This also includes improved motion detection, privacy zones, and audio privacy, and crisper night vision. That is over top of the original model. Again, newer models will probably also have better night vision than this one, better detection than this one, and they'll be better in all of those areas. So you want to find out, will this function at the base level, or is it worth the cost of the upgrade? In most cases, the answer is quite simply no. Detection is detection. If you've got a problem with it seeing a leaf flying by, you can try to adjust your detection zones to make it not see those leaves. But as long as it is detecting something and it's not giving you too many false positives, it's probably good enough. You're gonna receive mobile notifications when anyone presses your doorbell or triggers your built-in motion sensors. So you're gonna install the app on your phone. When they push the button, your phone will ring, you'll know who's there. You don't have to be at the house. As long as you're connected to Wi-Fi or you have a stable internet connection through your cell phone provider, this will connect through your home Wi-Fi and broadcast the video signal, audio, and microphone to and from whoever you're communicating with. So it allows you to receive deliveries when you're not home, talk to someone who might be there looking for you, or anything like that in a seamless, easy way by just triggering that button. It also will send you notifications if the motion detector goes off, and those notifications will be sent to your phone where you can open it up and see in real time why that motion sensor is being activated. It's powered by the built-in rechargeable battery, or it connects to existing doorbell wires for constant power. Now they say that this is gonna last for up to 6 months on a single charge, and that's where this USB cord comes in. So you can take the doorbell down and plug it in. I'm gonna try plugging it into my laptop here. Plug it into your computer, and that will charge the built-in battery in a few hours, and it supposedly lasts up to 6 months. Now you're gonna have to decide how often it actually needs to be recharged, because if you have a lot of motion or there's a lot of people coming to your house, it's gonna trigger the camera more often and it will drive the battery life down. Just understand that every time you want to charge it, you have to use this tool, remove it from the house, bring it inside, plug it in, as you've seen me do, recharge it, and then reinstall it every single time. That's if you're using the wireless capability. You can wire it up directly to the house and it will keep the battery charged all the time. And even if the power goes out, it will still use the battery power while the power's out. Now you won't have Wi-Fi, probably, if the power went out. So even though someone can push the button, it won't be able to communicate with your internet unless your internet is also on a battery backup, which some are. And if yours is, then this would still fully function while the power is out. It will keep it charged up using the regular wiring for your regular doorbell as well. It supports easy setup by connecting your Ring video doorbell through Wi-Fi to the Ring app and mounting with the included tools. So we've talked already about the app, we've talked about the tools, we've talked about mounting it. Pair with select Alexa-enabled devices to enable announcements and two-way talk to convenient in-home monitoring. So this will connect to your Alexa home system if you have an Alexa home system. Personally, we have a Google home system and it doesn't say that it connects to Google Home. I'm not gonna be able to test that today. If you have Alexa, somehow it'll work. Maybe you can say, Alexa, look at the front door, tell me what you see. I don't know what that'll do, but if you have Alexa, you can integrate this with it. Easily set up by connecting to your Ring video doorbell to Wi-Fi through the Ring app and mounting with the included tools. Now, we already talked about the app. We've talked basically about how it mounts. I mean, it's so simple. This screws to the house, the doorbell goes on here, the wires go on the back. That's it. The next thing I want to explore is the setup in the app. So we've downloaded the Ring app. You can get it on Google Play or on Apple Play. You're gonna be greeted with this where it wants you to create a sign-in. You need to create an account. So I'm going to create an account. So we've entered all the info. We're trying to create an account. It says good. And they want me to check my email to confirm that it's actually legit. So I'm gonna do that real quick. And then I'm gonna go back to the app, turn on Ring skill. Sure, why not? Success, accounts linked. I've set up the account. For whatever reason, it wanted to link it to my Amazon account. I'm not sure that I really like that, but I went ahead with that anyway. So we've done all of the account setup that it's asked for, and now it's saying, what do you want to do? Well, I want to set up a new device. I have a doorbell, so I'm going to set up a doorbell. Scan the QR code on your Ring product, asking me to scan the QR code. They have been nice enough to put, there's the QR code on the back here, and they even put, it says scan during setup. Now I'm going to have the QR code blurred out because this is unique to this ID. And the last thing I want is you guys at home trying to register my Ring camera to your device for some reason. So I'm going to say, I'm ready to scan. And then we're gonna go like that, and we've scanned it. And now it says, I see a doorbell. The next thing it's asking me is to add my new location. So I'll say, okay, this is my home. And I'm gonna say use my current location. So I'm gonna say use this location. Now I've told it to find me and we're gonna use that location. And there we go. Now we're gonna give our doorbell a name. I'm gonna call it the front door. Charge your video doorbell, which I've done. And I'm gonna tell them that we've charged it. Now I'm gonna tell them that I have installed it. Now they're asking me to go through the process of installing, which is fine, but I'm not going to actually install it. Now it wants me to push the button. I mean, these instructions are actually really impressive. So it's saying to push the button and then the light should be spinning. So now it's preparing my doorbell for setup. Is it doing anything? It's just a spinny light still. Now it's wanting me to pair this to my Wi-Fi, which is pretty basic. If you've ever done a connection of any kind of smart device, it's typical for all of them. I don't know if you can hear, but the doorbell's talking to me. It's saying, we're connecting, just a minute. Now it says it's successful. Awesome. Let's install your Ring doorbell. I'm gonna say I've already installed it. I'm gonna skip sharing users, and I don't have a chime. I'm gonna say optimize motion, adjust feature. You can tell motion, according to this, to record and send alerts for people, and we can say, let's also record and send alerts for other motion. And then now here's where we talk about how sensitive or not sensitive it is. We can adjust the sensitivity. So if you're getting frequent notifications for motion, it's just like a tree is blowing around, you can turn down the sensitivity or you can turn it up if you're not getting the motion alerts that you want. And then we talked about the battery life before. Choosing frequently will reduce battery life if front door is not wired or solar powered, which is great information to know. So my actual install is not going to be wired. I'm looking at a solar power install. So in a different video, we're actually going to look at a solar power option if you're using high frequency for your motion detection that you should be wired and or have solar. And those are options that are available to you. So if you don't have wired power, I will show in a different video a solar power option that you might want to consider. But I'm going to go with frequently for now. Now this is the important part. Now it's asking me to adjust the dead zone. Now it says my device is offline because the battery is too low. Now I've been met with the first challenge, which is slightly annoying, but maybe it's just me. And that is, I've got it plugged in, it's charging, it's connected to the internet, and the first thing that it wants to do is install an update. When I click this button here, it pulls up a notification that says front door is installing an update. This may take up to 15 minutes. Once it's done, your device will be ready to use. I've got to sit here for 15 minutes. Now for you guys, it's not a big deal because I can just cut the video and come back when the update is done. But if you were at home installing this thing and you're trying to get it all lined up and figure out where it works, the first time it powers on, you have to wait for it to finish an up to 15-minute update. Most people might not be bothered by this. For me, if I have to sit for 15 minutes and wait for a doorbell to finish updating, that becomes a very big problem for me because I don't want to wait. If I walk away, I probably won't come back. This doorbell would never get installed because I'll never get around to actually finishing the install because the update made me mad. Since this update's going on, we might as well move on to the pros and cons. Why are you buying this? Why are you not buying it? First con is that it's bulky. This is a pretty big camera, and especially compared to the Wyze cameras that I'm used to, this is like twice the size of a Wyze camera. Granted, the Wyze cameras do not have a battery backup built into it, and potentially that's where the size comes from, because to get a battery that lasts any amount of time, you would need a pretty good battery. But it is big and bulky nonetheless, and it's not gonna swap easily with your existing doorbell. Many times your doorbells are in a really small, tight space, and this won't fit in that small, tight space. And if space is a problem, this could be a concern for you. We talked about the battery already, but it is non-removable. The only way that battery gets charged is to remove the whole thing with the tool, bring it in your house and do exactly what I'm doing here, charging it using the USB cable. But also it is non-serviceable. So if that battery stops working for whatever reason, the entire doorbell is going in the garbage and you're just gonna buy a new one because it will be cheaper to just replace it than it will be to try and find a battery and figure out how to actually replace it. The biggest problem for me is the subscription base. So as a doorbell, if somebody comes and pushes the button and you open your phone and you look at it and you say, okay, hello, hi, how are you? Whatever, you have a whole conversation through the app, not a problem. No subscription required to do that. However, if a package is left on your door and someone comes and takes the package and you want to see what the heck happened to the package, the only way that that is happening is with a subscription. And that is one of the main reasons why you bought yourself a video doorbell camera, is for security. When you aren't home, when you aren't answering the door, when you aren't looking directly at the footage and you want to be able to review it later. Only way to do that, subscription based. That could be a big problem. And there are a lot of other options out there who have onboard recording that you can review without a subscription, or provide limited recording windows that also do not require a subscription. So something to keep in mind when you're considering the Ring versus somebody else. It also does not support Apple HomeKit or Google Home. As you guys already heard from me, I have a Google Home house and the doorbell will not support Google Home, which is a big downside for me. It only supports Alexa. And, kind of rightfully so. It seems like Amazon is tied up in the Ring doorbell business, which is why when I signed up, it wanted me to link my Amazon account to my online profile for Ring to make it all kind of connect together. Could be good for you. It's not so good for me, and so I'm listing it as a con of buying this device. Enough with the bad. Let's talk about the good. Why are you considering a Ring doorbell, but specifically this Ring doorbell? Number one, it's affordable. We've talked about the fact that there are bigger, better, newer, more better Ring doorbells on the market right now. We talked about that already. But this one at under $100, and they're getting cheaper every day. I've seen some refurbished units for $50 on Amazon. I will put a link in the description if you're considering one of these, so you can just go and find the one that you want and click it. If you want a newer, bigger, badder, better one, I'll put a link to that one as well. But there's always gonna be a bigger, badder, better device. That's the nature of electronics, and it's just how it works. So even if you buy the best one today, in a year from now, it's not gonna be the best anymore. So why not buy one that's not the best at an affordable price? We did talk about the Sharp 1080p video on here. So it is an upgrade from the original. It's not the biggest, baddest one, but 1080p is plenty good enough for most video doorbells. You can go to 2K, you can go to 4K, you can go to 8K if you want, but it's really not gonna do anything better for you unless you need to read fine text or license plates far away. This camera probably is sharp enough for what you're looking for. Installation is actually really easy. Being able to screw this plate on and then clip the doorbell onto it, wiring's easy. It's very, very easy to do. And that is definitely a plus. Everything you need for the install is included, and it works really, really well from that perspective. The ability to have wireless support, but also wired, is actually a big pro. So the Wyze cameras that I'm using are only wired. It has to be wired up. And that's okay for me because I installed them where the doorbell already was, but having a wireless option is a huge, huge bonus. Maybe you want to mount it on a gate or a fence or something like that. And having this rechargeable battery option, huge, huge, huge advantage for myself and others that are like me. Also, the fact that you can power this with a solar powered system makes it even more robust. And we're going to cover the solar option in a different video. If you're curious about the solar solution, check out for that video. And the con, where it didn't work with Google Home, it works with Alexa. If Alexa is your jam, then this might be also your jam. Not for me, but that is a pro. It does work with at least one smart home offering, which is Alexa. And that's really it. That's everything that we can cover in this video. Did I miss something though? If there's something that you're curious about and you want to know, post a comment down below. If you have a Ring doorbell, tell us about your experience. I'd love to hear about it. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.